Before Smokey and the Bandit became one of the wildest hits of the 1970s, nobody in Hollywood expected it to matter. A movie about smuggling beer across state lines? A cowboy-hatted driver outrunning police for laughs? To studio executives, it sounded ridiculous. But behind that simple story was chaos, real danger, and a production that almost fell apart before audiences ever saw it. And strangely enough, the movie's central crime was inspired by something that actually existed. In the 1970s, Coors beer wasn't available everywhere in the United States. Because it was unpasteurized and had no preservatives, it had to stay cold during transport. That meant shipping it long distances, especially east of the Mississippi River, was nearly impossible. In many southern states, Coors became a kind of forbidden treasure. People smuggled it across state lines like contraband. So when filmmakers heard stories of truckers risking fines and police chases just to deliver beer, they realized something powerful. This wasn't just a joke. It was a perfect movie idea. What followed was one of the most chaotic productions of 1977. At the center of it all stood Burt Reynolds, already one of the biggest stars in America. His salary alone cost more than $1 million, nearly 25% of the film's $5.3 million budget. Some people on set weren't thrilled about that. But Reynolds had leverage. Without him, the project simply wouldn't exist. Yeah, and he didn't treat it like an easy paycheck. Instead of relying on stunt drivers, Reynolds insisted on doing many of the high-speed scenes himself. Remember those wild chases and narrow escapes? Most of them were real. No digital tricks. Just roaring engines and drivers pushing cars to their limits. In fact, 4 brand-new Pontiac Trans Ams were supplied for filming. None of them survived intact. One by one, the cars were smashed during jumps, crashes, and stunt sequences. By the end, the production team was patching damaged vehicles together just to keep filming. The iconic black and gold Trans Am you see racing across the screen was often held together by quick repairs and sheer determination. But the madness wasn't limited to the cars. During one highway chase scene, the crew filmed at full speed on what they believed was an empty road. Engines screaming, tires spinning. It looked so real that a passing police officer assumed an illegal street race was happening. Sirens blared. The officer stormed into the scene ready to make arrests before realizing, after a long explanation, that it was a movie shoot. Even the casting nearly changed history. Studio executives initially rejected Sally Field for the female lead, claiming she wasn't glamorous enough for a southern road adventure. But Burt Reynolds refused to back down. He insisted she was perfect for the role. He was right. Not only did Field bring warmth and intelligence to the film, the two actors fell in love during production and dated for nearly 5 years afterward. Then there was Jackie Gleason, who played the furious Sheriff Buford T. Justice. About 75% of his dialogue wasn't even in the script. Gleason simply read the story once and started improvising. The outrageous insults, the furious shouting, the unforgettable one-liners, most of them were invented on the spot. Meanwhile, the studio still believed the movie would flop, or executives cut budgets and shortened schedules, convinced the film was too silly to succeed. Critics weren't impressed either when it opened. Some called it childish and outdated. But audiences had a completely different reaction. With a budget of around $5.3 million, Smokey and the Bandit exploded at the box office, earning over $120 million and becoming the second highest grossing film of 1977, behind only Star Wars. Even more surprising? The movie sparked a cultural craze. Our sales of the Pontiac Trans Am skyrocketed, climbing from about 27,000 units in 1975 to over 117,108 in 1979. In the end, what looked like a goofy chase comedy became something much bigger. A rebellious road movie. A celebration of freedom, speed, and Southern attitude. And maybe that's the secret of its success. Sometimes the movies that studios don't believe in are exactly the ones audiences fall in love with.